Welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, today we are literally mapping out the ultimate free AI toolkit for 2026. If you're looking to optimize your workflow, supercharge your productivity, and actually start building with the latest generative models without completely draining your wallet, well, you're in the exact right place. We've got a whole bunch of incredibly powerful tools to cover today, so let's just dive right in. First off, are you getting totally burned out by all those $20 monthly AI subscriptions? Because I know I am. I mean, subscription fatigue is so real right now. Between streaming, cloud storage, premium software suites, stacking yet another monthly fee for an AI assistant, it just kind of feels unjustifiable at this point. And, that leads us right to this massive contrast between what we expect and the actual reality. We all kind of have this expectation that state-of-the-art generative AI is locked safely behind these massive enterprise paywalls, right? Reserved only for the big tech giants. But here's the reality, and it's awesome. The open source community, plus these super competitive freemium models, have completely democratized this tech. Top-tier AI is out there right now, and yep, it is completely free to use. All right, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. Number 1, we'll look at the myth of paid AI. Then, 2, writing and coding essentials. 3, creating images and video. 4, audio and deep research. And finally, number 5, we'll wrap up with the hidden costs. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the myth of paid AI, shattering the paywall. The absolute most crucial point to understand here is that you simply do not need some giant enterprise expense account to experiment, build, and optimize your workflows with generative AI. Whether you're an aspiring data practitioner or a junior dev, or honestly, just someone trying to automate the boring parts of your day, you already have the access you need to get started, right now, completely regardless of your budget. Moving right along to Section 2, Writing and Coding Essentials, your free pair programmer. So picture this, you're staring at a completely blank page, or maybe this stubbornly broken SQL query that just refuses to run. What you need right then is a tireless assistant. And when we break down the top 3 heavyweights for text, ChatGPT is still your fantastic all-rounder for stuff like drafting emails and basic code. But check out Claude right below it. Its Sonnet 4.6 model offers this absolutely unmatched human nuance. Like if you need writing that actually sounds like a person and not a robot, Claude is your guy. And then we have Google Gemini. Gemini is a total powerhouse if you're already living inside Google Workspace. You can draft right inside Docs or Sheets. Plus, its free tier actually gives you 10 deep research reports a month, which is huge. Now, before we look at the specific coding tools, we gotta talk about this massive shift in how AI actually writes software. Because we're not just talking about a chat box that spits out a Python script anymore. We're talking about agentic IDEs. Basically, this is an autonomous coding editor that literally plans the task, writes the code, runs terminal commands to install your packages, and even tests the application directly in your browser. It's honestly like having a senior software engineer sitting right next to you at your desk. And here are the free tools taking full advantage of that shift. If you absolutely hate the headache of setting up Python environments, and who doesn't, look at DataLab. It runs entirely in browser, 0 setup required. Or if you're a beginner wanting to build a real app from scratch, Google Integrativity is a fantastic agentic IDE, and it's currently in free preview. And for you power users out there, Cursor will blow your mind. It has this composer feature that edits multiple files simultaneously, so you can fix bugs that span your entire project in one go. Total game changer. All right, on to Section 3, creating images and video, visuals without the paywall. Generating presentation-ready mockups used to require expensive software and, frankly, a design degree. But now, it's incredibly accessible. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is our third entry, Recraft AI. Generating standard images is great and all, but Recraft gives you infinitely scalable vector art, actual SVG files, for free. There's no way you're getting pixelated logos with this. We also have Nano Banana Pro, which is exceptional for photorealism and getting accurate multilingual text into your images. And if you need commercial rights right off the bat, Leonardo.ai has your back with 150 fast tokens every single day. Now look, AI video generation requires a ton of computing power, so free tiers here are usually pretty strict. But just look at what you can still get your hands on. InVideo AI acts as a full-on video copilot, automatically stitching together stock footage and voiceovers. Runway ML is still the industry standard for professional cinematic motion control. But Kling AI, that's the real standout for realism right now. You get 66 credits a day, which shakes out to roughly 6 short videos, and it delivers this jaw-dropping motion consistency. It easily handles complex human movements that usually make other models totally glitch out. Next up, Section 4, Audio and Deep Research, Automating Information Retrieval. Let's be real, 80% of a data practitioner's job is just reading, learning, and verifying facts. Creative chatbots are super fun, but for actual real-world work, we desperately need tools that do not hallucinate. And that brings us to this massive number, 200 million. That's the sheer scale of an AI search engine called Consensus. When you ask it a highly technical question, it doesn't just guess based on random internet chatter. It literally cross-references your query against 200 million actual academic papers to give you scientifically backed answers. And this brilliantly illustrates one of its absolute best features, the consensus meter. It actually visualizes hard scientific agreement so you can make data-driven decisions instantly. Imagine asking if a certain coding model outperforms another, and instantly seeing that 80% of published academic research says yes. Boom. It completely takes the guesswork out of your research. I also have to highlight this incredible tool from Google, NotebookLM. It transforms dense PDFs into perfectly grounded study guides. But the real magic is its audio overview feature. It literally generates an automated, incredibly realistic two-host audio podcast discussing the exact documents you uploaded. If you're an auditory learner who needs to digest heavy methodology papers while, say, commuting or walking the dog, this is absolutely game-changing. Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, the hidden costs, the catch of free AI. Okay, let's dramatically slow things down for a minute here, because we really need to establish a serious rule of thumb. In the tech world, free always has a cost. As the saying goes, if you aren't paying for the product, you and your data are likely the training set. That is the fundamental trade-off of freemium AI, privacy. These companies are giving you immense computing power for $0, and in exchange, well, they are learning from the exact inputs you feed them. So, there are three major traps of free AI you've got to navigate. First, default training. Like we just talked about, your data trains their future models. True enterprise privacy features like zero retention, where your data is instantly deleted, those are almost never free. Second, usage caps. You are going to face strict rate limits and throttling during peak traffic hours, for sure. And third, commercial restrictions. You're dealing with watermarks on your videos and strict licensing limits that stop you from making money off of what you generate. Because of all that, please internalize this critical security rule. Never paste sensitive, personally identifiable information, API keys, or unreleased financial data into a free LLM. Just don't do it. Protect yourself, protect your employers, and prevent massive data leaks. Use the free tools for learning concepts and generating boilerplate code, not for processing your highly confidential work data. And that brings us to an incredibly important resolution. Access to the technology itself, that's no longer the bottleneck. Your true competitive advantage is knowing exactly how to prompt the AI and, more importantly, knowing how to validate its outputs. At the end of the day, human skill, your ability to critically evaluate facts and strategically guide the AI, that remains your absolute ultimate asset. So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Are you mastering this free toolkit to genuinely supercharge your workflow, or are you just carelessly trading your personal data for a little bit of convenience? Be strategic, be responsible, and start building incredibly smart workflows today. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.